It just doesn't make sense. It's very simple-minded thinking, and most of it comes from only looking at it from a domestic perspective. The player and his agent probably look at things in much broader terms. Listen, the only good news is that this time we have people in charge who actually know something about football and have worked for winning teams before. And they kicked out that bicycle guy, which makes me feel a lot better about our chances because I really didn't want to see him there anymore. After reading Lori Whitwell's article on Jason Wilcox, I get the feeling that he's a hard negotiator and will not go above what he believes a player's value is. I'm sure we'll be paying a little bit more than our first bid valued the player to be, but I doubt it'll be much more. Clubs in world football, right there with Real Madrid and Barcelona. Before you call that bias, listen to the facts and then judge. Recently, in an interview with United We Stand magazine and Andy Mitten, our CEO Omar Berrada brought up Project 150, which includes Mission 21, winning the league by 2028. Today, we're going to talk about a lot of different things going on with the team, but the main topic is if Mission 21 can be done by 2028. Do I believe that this is a real goal set by the United hierarchy? Yes, I do. I believe that it's a real goal, and maybe it's the optimist in me, but I also believe that we can at the least challenge by 2028 if we do the right things from now until then. What's up, YouTube? Thank you for clicking on the thumbnail and joining me for another long overdue video. Those of you who've been with me for a long time, please hit that like button right now and get the numbers up for me so that one day I can afford to not have my regular job and I could just plan, shoot, edit, and keep making videos on a daily basis. Those of you who are new to the channel, welcome, people. Hang out, check out the content, and if you like my style, if you like what I do, consider subscribing and hit the like button for me. Okay, let's get back to the video. Project 150 is not only a real and realistic goal, but it's exactly what a new ownership group should be aiming for. It's exactly the kind of thing that would solidify Sir Jim Ratcliffe's legacy, and it doesn't hurt that it would also make it rain profits. Sponsorship dollars would skyrocket and the club's value would be at an all-time high. That is the reality of the situation. That is the reality some of these rival content creators don't seem to understand. Look, we're going to talk about how we can try to win by 2028 in a bit, but first I really got to get this off my chest. I still keep seeing posts on X or YouTube videos made by rival fans and sometimes even our own fans about how good players wanting to come play for Manchester United doesn't make sense to them. Let me explain this to you once and for all of you who doubt United's pull and or question why someone would choose to play for Manchester United over a club that has European football next season so that maybe we could put it to rest. First, can we all agree that the Premier League is the biggest league in the world? See, the EPL games are broadcast in over 200 countries, reaching over 4.7 billion people annually, with massive followings in Asia, Africa, America, and the Middle East. On a per-team basis, the EPL does attract the best players and managers. I said per-team basis. Sure, other leagues have one or two big clubs that can attract top talent, but I'm talking about as a whole, the EPL attracts better players and managers. And that may be because of the money involved. I mean, it's unmatched in terms of revenue. I think the global TV rights has been worth more than £10 billion for the last 3 years, which is so much more than any of the other leagues by a large margin. For next season alone, the Premier League's international TV revenue dwarfs all the other leagues combined. When you combine next year's domestic and international TV earnings, the Premier League will be bringing in close to €4 billion of TV money. Most of that coming from the international market at over 2.5 billion euros. 80% of the money generated from broadcasting is distributed to the Premier League clubs, while the other 20% goes to administration costs and other things. But the other very interesting point as to why the Premier League is the strongest, most competitive league in world football is that all of the international TV money is split evenly between all the clubs, and so is 50% of the domestic TV money. This accounts for over 65% of the TV distributions, all split evenly throughout all the clubs, which leaves only 25% of the domestic TV money to be split based on merit or where the club finished in the league. And the last 25% is a facility fee, which is based on how often the club's matches were broadcast live on UK television. What all this means is that even our mid-table teams can afford top-tier players from the other league's top clubs. No other top league, not La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, or Liga, consistently sees its mid-table and bottom-half clubs win against top 4 sides as often as in the EPL. The gap in quality between 6th and 15th place is very narrow, leading to tightly contested fixtures nearly every weekend. And probably the most important fact about the EPL is that there's more competition for the league title. It's not just a 2-horse race to the top. And I know recently Man City has won a lot of titles, but that will not be the case for much longer. And a lot of the clubs have a chance to challenge for the title. There's always a chance for up to 5 or 6 clubs to be challenging for a title at any given season in the beginning of the season. Now, if all that is true, and it is, then this next statement should be easy to understand. Manchester United is the biggest club in the Premier League, which puts it among the biggest clubs in world football, right there with Real Madrid and Barcelona. Before you call that bias, listen to the facts and then judge. Manchester United has one of the largest fan bases on earth, estimated at over 650 million supporters globally, according to Reuters. This isn't wishful thinking. It's backed by market research and brand studies. The fan base drives the highest merchandise sales, the most social media engagements among English clubs, and the largest TV viewership even during bad seasons. In fact, last season, during the 24-25 season, United's worst league finish in over 50 years, Manchester United matches still drew higher average global viewership than any other Premier League club. Let that sink in. Let it sink in. Even when the team is struggling and playing like trash, more people tune in to watch Manchester United than any other club in England. That's not about form. That's about stature. It's about legacy. It's about global appeal. United dominates headlines, drives ratings, and moves markets, win, lose, or draw. That's why they're still the biggest club in the Premier League, and in a league that is globally dominant, that makes Manchester United one of the biggest, if not the biggest, football club in the world. So when these content creators or media personalities act shocked or amazed that a player would choose Manchester United over a rival with Champions League, it just doesn't make sense. It's very simple-minded thinking, and most of it comes from only looking at it from a domestic perspective. The player and his agent probably look at things in much broader terms, like myself and most of us fans who are from outside of the UK. When you play for Manchester United, you're not just joining a club, you're joining a global media machine. United games are the most watched English club matches worldwide, even in down years. Every match, Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Europa League, even friendlies, are broadcast globally and analyzed by pundits and fans from Nigeria to New York, from India to Indonesia. You gain instant name recognition with a global fan base of over 650 million people. So ask yourself, would you rather score 20 goals for a club like Aston Villa or Newcastle and be celebrated locally, or score 12 goals for Manchester United and have your highlights trending on every continent? At United, a good season turns you into a global brand, not just a good footballer. Players at Manchester United enjoy some of the biggest personal brand boosts in world football. A good spell at United can elevate your marketability more than a trophy at a lesser-known club. Even players who underperform at United often maintain their global profile longer than high performers elsewhere. That's the power of the badge. And if you win something, winning something at United matters more. You win an FA Cup at another club, it's nice. You win it at United, you become part of the club's legendary history. You become a hero to millions of people. Listen, top players are competitive, but they're also ambitious. The idea of being the reason Manchester United rises again is incredibly powerful. You don't just win, you become the symbol of the rebuild, the new standard bearer, the leader of a global movement. No other club offers a narrative this rich. No other challenge in football carries this much weight. If you're our top performer when we win our next league title, you will become a legend in world football. You will be talked about for generations like Cantona is. Please don't tell me about Champions League football and how a player wants to play for another club because of it. That player is either making a bad decision or he doesn't believe that the new leadership will be able to revive the sleeping giant that is Manchester United. And he would have a right to think that way. First, you have to believe that the new leadership can actually revive the sleeping giant and actually make a run for a title in the next 3 or 4 years. But if you do, if you believe the project and you believe in them, you would always choose Manchester United, even if we're not in the Champions League, because of all the reasons I just said. But is the leadership the right leadership, and are they the ones that are going to lead us to this Mission 21? That's what we're going to dive into and talk about for the rest of this video. But first, I need something from you. If you're still watching this video and you haven't hit the like button yet, then I'm not sure what else I need to do or how much more work I need to put in to get you to show your appreciation for the content by taking a second of your time to hit that like button, guys. The only thing I can come up with is that for asking you to do something for me, even though it's just hit the like button, I will do something for you in exchange. If this video gets to 500 likes, I will not have more than 3 ad breaks in the next video. There's usually about 5 or 6. If this video can get to 1,000 likes, I will only have 1 ad break in the next video. So I'm prepared to sacrifice some of my earnings for 2 seconds of your time to hit the like button, guys. So hit the damn like button and let's go on, okay? So are Ineos and Berrada and Wilcox going to do what needs to be done to get us winning a title in the near future, or is Project 150 and Mission 21 just propaganda and publicity to keep us fans excited and engaged? We've heard all of this before, man. The Manchester United comeback. We're getting back on track to build a strong team, and we will be challenging soon. Listen, the only good news is that this time we have people in charge who actually know something about football and have worked for winning teams before. And they kicked out that bicycle guy, which makes me feel a lot better about our chances because I really didn't want to see him there anymore. What still makes me nervous, though, is that Ineos' Sir Jim Ratcliffe is not known to be a big spender and a financial risk taker in the way he runs his businesses, along with his partners, the greedy Glazers, who control the summer budget. Kind of makes me nervous because we do need to spend this summer and we need to spend big. Cunha was a great addition, a much-needed player in his prime who has proven he can do it in the Premier League. The next one through the door seems to be Mbeumo, who is going to be just as important for us, and I don't really think there's another player like him. His work rate and XG combination is simply the best in the league. Might be the best in all football. The man is a workhorse with an eye for goal and an assist. So I have me some of that. Yes, please. I know Mbeumo's signing has taken a long time, but I think it's different this time around. After reading Laurie Whitwell's article on Jason Wilcox, I get the feeling that he's a hard negotiator and will not go above what he believes a player's value is. I'm sure we'll be paying a little bit more than our first bid valued the player to be, but I doubt it'll be much more. This may be the beginning of fixing our reputation, making sure teams understand that we will pay good money, but we will not overpay. So I'm okay with the fact that this deal is taking time, but I expect it to be wrapped up by July 4th so we can move on to other important deals, which I believe are also being worked on in the background. If I had it my way, we'd have most of our deals done, at least Mbeumo done and a striker done before we go on the tour, our preseason tour, because I think those 2 pieces, especially along with Cunha, are going to be the most important for Ruben Amorim to work with. Although Cunha and Mbeumo are a great start to the window, don't get me wrong, the window still has much to go. It's my opinion that they know they have to bring in more additions too. It's not just me. We definitely need a striker and a goalkeeper. They're not stupid enough to think that we can go through another season with the same striker and goalkeeper options we had last season. They may be thinking that we need to make some sales first, and maybe that's fine. Maybe they can get a sale or 2 done by the end of the first week of July, and we would still be on schedule. And there's also been a lot going on with some of the players that we're trying to move on recently that's got a lot of people angry, some fans. Like Garnacho wearing an Aston Villa jersey is the latest one. I didn't like seeing it, but it did make me hopeful that they would come in for him. Maybe he wore it because he knew something's coming. It may be that Villa made to make a sale first, but I have confidence that Villa would actually pay for Garnacho. They wouldn't ask for a loan. They would pay a decent amount also because they know how things work. The 2 stories that got me upset were the ones about Sancho and Rashford, not the Garnacho one. Sancho refusing to take a pay cut to move to another club just doesn't make sense to me. Antony values playing over anything else, and it's nice to see a player act honorably and let it be known that he would take a pay cut to move to Betis and play. That just makes me feel more respectful. Like I respect Antony as a player more. For a player like Sancho, I really wish we had the financial might to let him rot, like training with the academy for a season. I want him to lose all credibility and hopefully teach him a lesson. A player's career is a short one. You should play as much as you can for as long as you can. It's not like he was going to get paid peanuts. He's still going to make really good money, but he doesn't want to take any kind of pay cut. That gets under my skin. I hate entitled people who act this way. You already have a fantastic life. It's your right to do that, don't get me wrong, but that doesn't make it right. And the story about Rashford that upset me was hearing him speak about how he idolized Thierry Henry, and not because he said he idolized an Arsenal legend. I don't really care about that. But what got me was how he said he's learning to enjoy playing as a striker or a center forward. I was like, what the f? This knows there's no room on the wings for him at Barcelona or even Real Madrid. So if he wants to play in Spain, he better be okay with playing in the center. All of a sudden, he doesn't mind doing that. You know how many times we needed him to step up and play in the center for us, and he looked uninterested? Man, I can't wait for him to be sold. I really don't want to loan him out either unless it's within like an obligation. I used to be such a big Rashford fan. In my closet, right behind me, there's 2 Manchester United kits with Rashford's name and number on them. He's the only player of which I own 2 shirts of his name because I liked him that much, and now it's just upsetting me. It really is. I want him gone. I don't want to read about him anymore. Anyway, back to our own business dealings. Best case scenario, Betis sell one of their players to fund the Antony move, which looks highly likely to happen. It's also the deal I would think we can get done first. Then maybe Aston Villa come in for Garnacho as their first signing so it can get done by first or second week of July. Then maybe, if we're lucky, Rasmus gets a move to Italy because there's been a little bit of talk about that. I think he would be successful playing there. And by the way, since I said that, to be completely honest, I think all of our players who would be leaving are going to be successful to wherever they go, even Sancho and even Rashford. I just don't think they work for what Amorim wants from them. And in some of their cases, like Antony and Sancho, I just don't think they work in the Premier League, period. Hopefully Juventus and Napoli put bids in for Sancho and we can sell him off too. And the dream would be for Marcus' situation to get worked out and get the hell out of here by the end of July. But I have a feeling Barcelona is going to push us for a free loan or whatever, like at the end of the window, because they always play dirty. So that's the one that I'm just not really confident is going to happen until the very last 2 weeks of the window, or maybe even last week of the window, when we're just going to settle to giving him out on loan to Barcelona to save on some of his wages. We may still be paying like partial wages or whatever. Like, I'm really not looking forward to that. It's just going to make me even angrier. But anyway, any one of those deals goes through, and I think it opens the door for us to go sign the striker we so desperately need. And I know I said I'm not sure I want Gyökeres anymore. On the last video, I was pretty harsh, and I said we shouldn't be going for him anymore, but I've given it a lot of thought since then. And really, we're not all sure that he said he wanted to go to Arsenal. But anyway, I'm calmed down with the whole fact that I really love Lenny Yoro, and he would have rather went to Real Madrid. I got to be an adult about this and just think, hey, if this man ends up being available and available to come to our club, I wanted him before, I would still be happy if we signed him. And that's hard for me to say because of like the last video, and I don't want to seem like a hypocrite, but I was really in my feels on the last video, so you guys are just going to have to excuse me. I feel like it could have been his agent's fault because his agent is a lot like Mino Raiola, at least from what I've read, which means he does a lot of like stupid things to try and get as much money as possible for his clients. So I've come to a point where if we do get Gyökeres, I'd be more than happy. I'd actually love it because he is a good player. And I would even be happy if we missed out on Gyökeres and we got Hugo Ekitike, who I've watched some footage of, and I think he's a pretty good player. He's a lot different than Gyökeres, and he would need to kind of show me that he can play with his back against goal. And if our scouts believe that he can do that, then I'm just going to trust in Wilcox's eyes and anything else our scouts have seen, because he is a talented player. He's still young, though. That's scary, but I don't really like a lot of the other options because I don't think Osimhen is an option. Besides, if we get Hugo Ekitike, I'm going to call him Ike Tickles instead of Ekitike because I just like the way that sounds. Ike Tickles. Also, the name of one of P. Diddy's favorite games he played at his freak-offs. What a stupid... Sorry, let's move on to something more mature. My bad. So I expect these things to happen after the big board meeting we're starting to hear about that James let us know about from the Muppeteers. And I think that board meeting is happening at the end of June, before July. You've heard all the links with all the players we've checked on. That seems to be normal for the way this new leadership, this new regime operates. We did the same thing last summer. We interviewed every manager under the sun, and then they had a board meeting and decided to stay with Erik ten Hag, which was stupid. But this time, Dan Ashworth won't be there. So hopefully when they have the board meeting, they will actually make a good decision. And because they've had plenty of discussions with numerous prospects, they know exactly what kind of budget they will need to get everything they want, which better also include a goalkeeper. I don't care if we're keeping Onana or not. We need to bring in someone who can make saves and push the ball away from our goal. Listen, they are not stupid people. Wilcox, Amarin, Berrada are not stupid people. They know that the least they need to do this summer is Cunha, a Bumo, a striker, and a goalkeeper. And maybe even a midfielder. Or...
next year, in the same stage, we'll be here with the same problems.
Thank you for watching. Thanks for being with me. Sorry it took me so long to make this video. And to be honest with you, work's just been really crazy. But hopefully there'll be some new news coming out, some more stuff to talk about so I can make another video. I will be live this Wednesday morning at 9:30 a.m. Los Angeles time. Yes, I will be live this Wednesday morning at 9:30 a.m. Los Angeles time just to have a conversation with you good people. Hopefully there'll be some news by then that we could talk about, something new to talk about. But even if there isn't, I just want to reach out and talk to you good people some more. So join me this Wednesday live at 9:30 a.m. Los Angeles time. I'll see you then. Thank you so much. If you're new, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. If you haven't liked it yet, like the thing, or else I'm putting 25 ads in the next video. Bye.